Hi everyone, it's Brett. Sometimes I would like to get something, but something else is already attached to it, and I have to get both. I hate it when that problem occurs.
Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was released on February 12, 2021. I already have Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U and beat the game a long time ago. So I just wanted to get the game Bowser's Fury by itself. But I had no choice and had to get both games. So basically, I only got Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury to play, well, Bowser's Fury. To be honest, I didn't even play Super Mario 3D World when I first got the game.
I just went straight in to play Bowser's Fury until I beat it and didn't really feel like playing Super Mario 3D World immediately afterwards. So I don't really want to talk about Super Mario 3D World a whole lot. I'd much rather talk about a game that came out 8 years later that shares the same DNA as Super Mario 3D World. Super Mario 3D World is a fun game, but that doesn't give me a good reason to own it again. I don't usually get something for a second time, it just kind of feels like a waste.
Now, does the port to Super Mario 3D World come with any extra things? To be fair,
it does. Nintendo added faster run speed, a higher climb with the catsuit, new Captain Toad levels with multiplayer, online multiplayer, colored stamps instead of black and white stamps from the original, and a picture mode. Now, this is some new stuff, but still not enough for me to feel like a fair deal in my opinion. I will say the people who haven't played the original Super Mario 3D World are getting a really good deal. Having the option to play a really good game along with an extra one for the first time is definitely worth it.
But I think it's problematic for these games to be bundled together. And here's the reasons for this.
First, Bowser's Fury was packed in with the game Super Mario 3D World that came out back in 2013. Bowser's Fury, which is a completely new Mario adventure, was released with this game in 2021. That is around an 8-year difference. Games with this much of an age gap should not be combined into one game. I already own Super Mario 3D World. If I wanted to play the game again, I know where I could go.
Second, there was no way to buy Bowser's Fury by itself when it first launched.
But maybe Nintendo can redeem themselves by selling Bowser's Fury separately. That's what I would say if I was a part of the Nintendo Can Do Nothing Wrong team. It's too late for Nintendo to redeem themselves on this one. They did a dirty business move by selling an old game with a new game attached to it and realizing that some people already own that old game. So people who bought the original Super Mario 3D World game have to buy it again to access the new Mario content. If there's no option at release to buy Bowser's Fury separately, Nintendo is just exploiting their customers who only want the game they haven't played yet. Of course, it's only a small percentage of people getting burned from this deal, but that doesn't make it any less bad for Nintendo making this decision. Bundling Bowser's Fury with Super Mario 3D World benefited most people, and it gave Nintendo a good reason to make a small game by reusing assets from a previous game. But would it really have been that hard to sell this game by itself? Nintendo could at least give the option to buy Bowser's Fury by itself digitally for at least half the price of a full-price Nintendo Switch game. Well, now that that's been addressed, I guess I'll review the actual game. The game starts off with Mario just kind of walking around, and yeah, that's just inconvenient. This is good, a quick small little cutscene that gets the game set up and straight into gameplay once Mario gets his head out of the ground. I really like the setting, it's all dark and rainy, there's some lightning in the background, and Bowser is extremely mad. But why is he mad? You know what, it's probably about something related to what I was talking about earlier. He will go away once the cat shine is collected because that makes the lighthouse shine, and I suppose Bowser just isn't too fond of those things. After this tutorial section is over, Mario finds Bowser Jr. and he seems not too happy. Bowser Jr. begs Mario for help and Mario is not interested. Until he is.
So Bowser Jr. serves as a second player to help Mario out.
He can also be AI if you're in single player mode and can either help out a lot, some, or none at all. He can find stuff too. That's it, that's all he does. Moving on. After that meeting is done, freedom is given to go anywhere in the game world that isn't covered up by black liquid or dark matter or shadow paint. I'll just call it shadow paint. The objective is to get cat shines that are littered throughout the world. The main ones can be got by doing linear platform sections. This is Mario, so it's pretty fun to move around in the world. While the level design is simple, that's just part of the charm and also pretty standard for a Mario game. Bowser will keep showing up after a certain amount of time as well. It's cool to see it being foreshadowed by Bowser's shell slowly spinning out of the water. When his return is about to happen, rain starts to pour down along with foreboding music in the background. Then he drops down from the sky and goes completely ballistic. He's constantly breathing fire, he makes it rain blocks made out of rocks. I don't even know how he does that, but it's pretty exciting. To get him to leave, all that's needed is a cat shine to be obtained, or another way to get him to leave is just wait for a few minutes fearing for life while he starts to get bored and go away on his own terms. So the game's main idea is to explore a linear path sometimes, or go to random sections of the world to find cat shines, and Bowser shows up every so often. It's actually pretty neat that Bowser shows up and makes an otherwise basic part of the world very chaotic, and keeps the player on their toes. It doesn't matter where you are in the whole map, Bowser will show up and he will be mad. Once enough cat shines are found, Mario unlocks the big bell that gives him the ability to be a massive cat with incredible hair. Either that or the world and Bowser just shrink down a whole lot. Then a head-on fight with Bowser happens. This is really engaging and it's satisfying to strike Bowser's stomach. Usually Bowser isn't fought head-on like this in most Mario games. It usually is just flip a switch or something in the environment to defeat Bowser, so this is a great approach to take for a Bowser fight. It's not too difficult, and once Bowser gets beat, he goes away, and some of the map is cleared from the shadow paint, revealing more of the world to explore. This is when I started to realize that the map has a lot of water. This isn't actually too big of a problem because Plessy is writable and allows for fast and fun map traversal. It would have been nice for more islands and challenges to be dispersed throughout the world, but it's mostly just Super Mario 3D World levels slapped somewhere on a huge body of water. I think I understand why this was done. The developers wanted to make sure the players wouldn't constantly get distracted while making their way to the main spots where the core gameplay is. Personally, I would have liked to see more stuff throughout the world, but this is fine. It just feels like less of an open world when you pretty much only have one place to go. But that one main place you go to does have a few branching paths, which is nice. This doesn't take away from the levels though. It's fun to go around finding all the collectibles and going through the challenges. Also, there's some spots that are not on the main path, so that way the game doesn't feel like a straight shot to one destination to the next. Then once enough cat shines are collected, Mario gets access to the Big Bell power-up again and fights Bowser. It's pretty much rinse and repeat. New section of the world is available, travel there, get shines, and fight Bowser. It sounds repetitive, because it is. The repetitive nature of going to a new spot in the world still manages to be fun because it gives new and unique challenges to take on. Also, fighting Bowser again and again doesn't get too stale, because you can throw stuff at him in the later fights, and also it's still fun to beat him up. It's pretty much always possible to go to one of the old sections of the map, whenever and wherever you are. This gives quite a lot of freedom to the player. It's really awesome that if you go to older locations, there are some new challenges to complete. This is great for making new content by recycling levels used in the past. It's a win-win, and I really appreciate this idea. Another great thing in this game is how it's possible to store up a whole bunch of power-ups. This allows for swapping between power-ups whenever you want, as long as you have one on you. This is a very nice feature to have. Okay, so I don't like the idea of very mad Bowser having to destroy blocks to give access to cat shines. At first it seems fine because I think, oh, there's a thing Bowser can break and I'll be able to make him go away. It's satisfying to do for the first few times, but then it just felt like a chore. The reason being is because Bowser is the only one who can get rid of these blocks, so sometimes when I realized Bowser was coming back, I felt I should stop what I was doing and go directly over to one of the Bowser block spots. It was a little stressful, and sometimes he would go away before he even got to one of the areas. This is mostly only a problem if you're trying to get to 100% completion, but I still don't like it. This is mildly confusing, and I don't really understand why, but for some reason, Nintendo has a cat obsession in this game. The trees look like cats. The lighthouses look like cats. The cat shines look like cats. The enemies look like cats. There are actual cats. Mario is a cat. Oh, wait. I mean, did I ever think that a plant could be a cat? No. Have I ever wanted in the past when this game didn't exist for a plant to be a cat? No. Has seeing a plant be a cat changed my mind? I don't know. I'm really not sure what to think about all these cats, but I do know that the cat references were cranked up to the highest level. Overall, I liked the levels dispersed in the world, and Bowser was pretty fun to fight. Looking at the whole of everything, I'd say this game was very well made. Bowser's Fury is good, but it would have been way better if it was a separate game. Having to get something I already have just to play a smaller but new game leaves a sour taste in my mouth. If only I could keep Bowser's Fury and sell Super Mario 3D World to justify me owning this game.
Well, it's a good thing I have an idea. So, turns out cutting the cartridge in half makes the game stop working.